Welcome back, everyone. We do apologise for the technical difficulties you've been experiencing, and luckily you haven't missed too much. I don't think anything significant has happened since you left. We've passed the halfway point in the race right now. But anyway, oh, Hygo Poom running a bit wide. They're going over the sausage curbs at turn 4, but rejoining okay. But yeah, this has been an interesting race, mainly from a strategy point of view as it's unfolding. Yousuf, what have you made of it so far?
Yeah, it's very interesting in that entire strategy since you've got, of course, got Liam Duval going from the softs to mediums, Michael Francesconi going from the softs to hards, as well as a few drivers who started on those hard tires now onto the softer compound. So interested to see how Francesconi and Liam Duval's race comes together.
Now, if you're just joining us, Liam Duval does have a significant advantage. Now let's watch Jason Muscat going up the inside of Adrian Faber and making the move stick into turn 1. Dino Paolini close to them, but not able to follow him through just yet. Adrian Faber now, not with the DRS, but does have the slipstream, trying to come back at Muscat. Muscat goes defensive and covers him off, and I expect that he will start to pull away now. Faber, of course, he has made his pit stop. He made it on lap 15. Muscat, meanwhile, also having made his pit stop, is trying to extend his advantage in the race.
Yeah, and this is exactly the issue that we thought the likes of Faber and Rybachuk would run into. They pitted so early, back on lap 12 of the race, and their tyres are absolutely, completely shot. Remember, Adrian Faber, he was running at third ahead of Colin Spork at one point, but his race absolutely wrecked with that early pit stop.
Yeah, I don't think his tyres are shot just yet, but they're definitely much slower than the newer tyres, such as that of Jason Muscat. Another thing to remember: Jason Muscat's tyres are only 3 laps newer than Adrian Faber's, so I can't imagine there'll be much difference on that front. But yeah, it definitely appears that Muscat has much more of an advantage at this point in the race for some reason. And Adrian Faber dropping back now into the clutches of Dino Paolini, who has the slipstream and who uses it to his advantage as they come down the straight. Not quite able to get close enough yet to the back of Faber, but we'll have slipstream again on the exit, and we'll have DRS again on the exit. That's a much more difficult place to pull a move there down into to turn 2, and Faber keeps it for the time being.
And in about 10 laps time, we're going to be entering that final kind of phase of pit stops, or the last point we're going to see any pit stops, which is where people will be going onto those soft tires for the final time. Sandeep Singh, he's in 4th place, and actually he's had a bit of a moment, I think, because Jakub Lalu's closed in. He was about 6 seconds up the road, and yeah, he's lost 1 second that last time around, but Sandeep Singh, 4th place, got a big gap to Lalu and Muscat. I think he's actually going to finish 4th.
Ryan Elliott now into the pits. He goes onto mediums. Should be able to run towards the end with that. We have 27 laps remaining, and I think drivers have been able to run about that far on mediums. And if they haven't, of course, it's always easier to in the second part of the race, as less weight means less scrubbing on your tyres. Dino Paolini now into the pits as well. Now he's already on mediums, and he started the race on. Did he start the race on those mediums? Yes, he did. Now that's important because it shows just how long. Oh no, he didn't. My apologies. He pitted on lap 18. So this is Paolini's second stop. Jukka-Pekka Lalu is also on. He goes on to the soft tires, and that's interesting because he's got to make them last for 24 laps if he's going for the one stop, and he may actually have changed his strategy and gone for a 2-stop now. Paolini exiting the pits on mediums. He will probably also be on the 2-stop.
23 laps on those soft tyres, I think might be just a little bit too much of a stretch, Caitlin. But let's see what Lalu can do. He showed us that he was very good on those tyres back at Istanbul last time out. Maybe he can do it again here.
I think so too. Meanwhile, Terence Grech on fresh tyres has just passed Martin Rybachuk. And that shows just how much Rybachuk's been hampered, because Grech, of course, started from the very back of the grid, and that is very much for position there for Terence Grech. So Grech climbing up through the order, doing a very, very good job of it. Not sure why he started so far down. He probably had a grid penalty or something, or maybe he just wasn't able to string a lap together, or a clean lap together at that. But anyway, Grech doing a good job up into 14th position, and probably higher up the order in effect. Sandeep Singh now into the pits. Now this is an important one, because he is the top driver who was running on hard tyres from the start of the race, goes on to mediums, so he's going for a one-stop strategy almost definitely. And as he exits the pits, he's already been passed by Muscat, Faber, Saracino. Bickers goes through, Tapper goes through, but he will come out in 9th position, and that's a very good place to be in for Sandeep Singh, because he has gained many places from the start of this race, and those are places he can surely keep as Juba goes side by side with Lalu and they make contact.
They do indeed, but Lalu has the inside going into 2. He has a little look, dives it down the inside, almost more contact as Lalu just a little bit late on the brakes, but Lalu, he's into the wall, loses the back end. That is a big, and he's completely lost his front wing. Dino Paolini will sweep past, but Lalu from where to where in the space of 2 laps.
And Lalu, the king of starting on hard tyres.
Lalu. No, don't do. You almost
had
did
another
go
incident.
Poom.
Okay, almost collides with Igo Poom, but anyway, get away with it. But as I was saying, Jukka-Pekka Lalu, the CEO of starting on and making the most of them, has sadly not given himself the best of opportunities today to make the most of his strategy. He has dumped his front wing in the wall. That front wing is still sitting there at turn 2, and Lalu is continuing on without it. He's going to have to make a pit stop because the car handles awfully when you have no front wing. You just can't get it turned in or slowed down for corners, and that is a big shame there for Jukka-Pekka Lalu, who was in a good position for this race. I'd say almost a guaranteed top 10. Well, he was side by side with Juba, and just a little bit too eager on the throttle, I think.
Yep, and this means that Jack Mayer will be picking up the final point as things stand. He gets promoted into 15th, and Martin Rybachuk and Jack Mayer, what a torrid time they've had. It's all about damage limitation. Rybachuk with an accident pretty much entirely his own fault. Jack Mayer, again, in the same position, having spun into the pit lanes. Also, pardon me, Rybachuk had that incident following a lag spike.
Yeah, Rybachuk's accident wasn't his own fault, but I suppose his strategy certainly wasn't ideal, and that was his fault. But of course, you take a risk with strategy. It's all about gambling, and when you have traffic, of course, it can evolve so quickly that really you can't predict things like that at all times. But anyway, yeah, he's having a little bit of a torrid time there down in P14. Dari Tapper is on the back of Lewis Bickers. They're both running on the harder tyres, and that is a fight that I'm interested in, especially since they're catching Giuseppe Saracino. Now, Saracino, interestingly, is on those harder tyres. He's been on them since lap 19. I'd be surprised if he can make it the whole way on those. He's probably going to have to make a quick stop towards the end for soft tyres, but making a good job of it so far. His helmet, from a distance, his helmet always reminds me of Giancarlo Fisichella's. I think it may also be because of the dark blue on his roll hoop. Just kind of looks like the splash of blue Fisichella always has on his. It's interesting because when I zoom in on it, it's more like Jensen Button 2009 style helmet. But anyway, very nice one at that, very fluorescent.
Fisichella, that takes you back, doesn't it?
Yeah.
God, when was the last time I saw him racing? Oh yes, it was back in the year where he threw his career away by betraying Force India and moving over to Ferrari after picking up second at Spa-Francorchamps. He then went over to Ferrari at Monza, and that was the end of his racing career.
He clearly didn't watch the Daytona 24 Hours this year because he was in that. But anyway, back to GPVWC Superleague Lights. We have Bickers followed by Tapper, followed by Singh. They're getting closer and closer, and Singh should find this relatively easy here as Faber pits again. Singh is going to have the DRS. He's going to have the slipstream, run slightly wide, but he also has fresher tyres, so he's going to be better on the brakes into this next corner, and then he's going to have the DRS for the next straight as well. I think he slightly shot himself in the foot by getting that bad exit to the final corner. Faber, meanwhile, is going to come out in 10th place. Is he going to hold off Poom? That's going to be a close one, and that is for position. And he does hold off Poom. Slightly crosses the pit exit lane. Now that's interesting. Not technically allowed to do that. I'm sure that if he caused an accident by doing it, he'd have received a penalty. But these stewards here don't tend to be quite as harsh on that as they do in real life. But still, there is a steward who checks pit entries and exits. So yeah, may be a little bit concerned about that. Anyway, Hygo Poom still hunting him down for 10th position. and Adrian Faber will probably start to pull away as he is on fresher tyres.
Go on a run and ball with Sandeep Singh, see what he can pull off. We saw how close he got to
Whoa,
Tapper.
three wide further back. We've had an incident for James Tuber, and somehow he's still running with this, but despite having no wings on that car. I don't know why he didn't back off there, because they were 3 wide, but yeah, that's absolutely amazing. Elliot, and actually no, Tuber does have wings in his car, it's just they weren't registering for me. That's how he was able to keep up with this bunch. It's Elliot 15th, followed by Tuber 16th, then Lalu and Malcharak. But yeah, James Tuber there, my apologies, I thought he had. He did indeed have wings, but he had an accident before his pit stop, I expect, and that was, well, it wasn't a Jack Mayer incident. He actually lost it at the penultimate corner, and then was just lucky that it happened right before the pit entry. But anyway, so Tuber's lost a lot of time with that, and he's now fighting hard for that final points paying position.
Yeah, Ryan Elliott, James Tuber, Jukka-Pekka Lalu, and Christian Malcharek in this battle, and let's see who can pick up that final point position. However, up ahead, Sandeep Singh still on the back of Dao Tapper, and Lewis Beckers in the battle for 6th place in there. You can just see Giuseppe Saracino slightly ahead of the road, right in the corner of your shot.
Liam de Vries makes his pit stop. That is his second pit stop of the day, and he's actually now behind Michael Francesconi. Colin Spork also making a stop in the other senior bike car, luckily not having to stack because there's not enough of a gap between them. Now, Francesconi pitted on lap 19. He's on the harder tyre. I'd be surprised if he can go the full way and not have to make a quick stop towards the end for softs. So I think de Vries still has the advantage in this race, despite the fact Francesconi is technically leading.
Yeah, let's see if Francesconi can go to the end. If he can go to the end, we're in for a fantastic battle in those final few laps. As there's a move happening down behind Sandeep Singh. He's side by side with Dao Tapper as they make their way down into turn 2. Sandeep Singh down the inside of the Zederic racing car, and Sandeep Singh will move up into 7th place.
His next target, as I've got bad case of the hiccups, is Elias Bickers in 6th position. And they're actually not that far behind Giuseppe Saracino, dropping back on harder tyres as well. So yeah, this is getting very interesting for 5th position. And strategy is it's a difficult one to call. You can never quite tell how it's going to look towards the end of the race. But yeah, as I said, I'd be surprised if Francesconi doesn't have to pit again. De Vries, on the other hand, he will not have to pit again. He only has to run 18 laps on those soft tyres. It's relatively long to run soft tyres, but it's not impossible, and it's not even improbable either. That's going to be a relatively simple one to do, providing he's not too silly with it. Colin Sporks now found himself right behind Jason Muscat as well. He's on softer tyres, he's got the DRS, he's going to go through to the outside now, and he's going to have more grip than Muscat as well. He's got to put a lot of trust in Muscat that he doesn't slide out into him, but Muscat, of course, is a veteran of the sport. He's better than that, champion last year of the Super Cup series, and Spork now not able to get past him in the first set there. He'll be held up slightly by this.
She's going to have to slot in behind Jason Muscat. Colin Spork, you know, there's no rush. You know, he's not racing anyone else up ahead. He's not racing anyone behind. He just has to bide his time and slowly find a way through without wrecking his race.
No rush now, but there might be later, of course. Strategy, when it unfolds, it tends to throw drivers right where you wouldn't expect them in terms of the order. But anyway, Colin Spork still behind Jason Muscat as we speak. Also, of course, we have fights further back. Bickers chasing Singh, being chased by Tapper. Paulini a little way behind them as well, probably also gaining on the two of them, but still has a little way to gain. And David Krupa's out of the race. Now, I don't think we mentioned that. That was only last lap that happened, and that looks like a disconnection to me from David Krupa. So that is a big shame for the TCS off Allied Esports driver.
Yeah, and I just want to take a look at, actually, Liam de Vries. Do you reckon he's closing in onto Michael Francesconi by enough? 1.5 seconds last time round.
Yeah, that's quick. That's very, very quick. I expected that. Oh, Elliot has a spin. He was fighting with Tuber, and he's just had, I think there was a little leg spike maybe. They may have Yeah, I think that was caused by a lag spike, but that may just be on my end again. But yeah, Liam de Vries closing up on Francesconi, hand over fist. He's now got traffic, actually. He's now coming right up on this battle, and that is between Ryan Elliott, James Tuba, and Jakub Lally. That's the fight for the final point. Now, that is going to hold up de Vries a little bit, as Lally there took a quick look at Elliott and then got out of the way. That was very good from Jakub Lally there. And actually, that's a good time to do that, because now he can try to follow de Vries through. It's a good tactic you can often use as a back marker. It feels very counterintuitive to be diving out the way of the leaders far too early, but as soon as you reach other cars, if you can keep with that leader, you realise why it was all worth it. But anyway, that fight's still going on. De Vries' last 2 laps have been in the 118s.
Oh, look at Sandeep Singh. He's right on the back of Saracino now, heading down into turn 1. Sandeep Singh looks for the outside as Saracino goes defensive. Contact between the two of them, and Saracino squeezes Singh out wide onto the concrete. Can Singh stay ahead of Tapper? He's got the inside, but Tapper's looking to pick up a P6. Singh goes down the inside, will hold on to his position, but is still behind Saracino.
They were locking wheels for a long time there. It almost looked as if they weren't going to be able to get them couple. Ignore the car directly behind them. That is a lapped driver. But anyway, Saracino and Singh still fighting at that 5th position. Hopefully neither of them have suspension damage. Ignore those blue flags as well. They're being waved for George Sutton in the Fusion car, as Dowie Tapper is right behind them. And actually this is helping Dowie to gain on these drivers and get in on the fight for 5th position. But yeah, drama there down into turn 1, and they can't afford to do that many times, because over time that's really going to weaken their suspensions and probably frustrate them more and more as well.
Yeah, and right now we're actually seeing Maltrek getting out of the way of Dow Tappers. Maltrek was keeping up with Singh and Saracino, but Singh's got another chance as Saracino doesn't get the best of, runs through the final corner, and here we go, on to lap 44, Singh on Saracino.
Singh on Saracino, he's up the inside, heading towards turn 1. He's got the DRS, and I think he's got the move done. He's got grip, and there we go, easy peasy lemon squeezy, pretty much. Saracino now in the hands of Dowie Tapper, back into the clutches of Dowie Tapper almost. Sandeep Singh will start to accelerate away in 5th position. We don't expect him to stop again. We've also had a move. That was Terence Grech getting past Hygo Poom, so Grech getting closer and closer to the top 10 there, and what a race that would be if he can finish in the top 10 from 30th on the grid. And Poom almost came back in there, but nothing doing. So Terence Grech safely in 11th place for the time.
Yes, indeed. Now, something I want to keep an eye on is this gap between Jason Muscat and Sandeep Singh. Currently, it is at 10 seconds, but before Singh closed up to Saracino, he was closing in by a second a lap, and he might have just enough time to have a little shot for 4th place.
He might indeed. We're still watching it there with Singh flying up through the order. His last lap time was in the he's in the 121s actually, and that was because he was fighting, of course, but his last lap times before that were all in the 119s. Any time under 120 is pretty good. The fastest, I think, has been in the 118s. In fact, the first lap of the day has just been set by Liam de Vries, who is still charging up to the to the back of Michael Francesconi. You don't get bonus points for fastest laps, but you do get bonus credits in terms of the Superleague Lights money. But Liam de Vries now within 3 seconds of Michael Francesconi, just about leads this race, and may. In fact, I think he probably is trying to get to the end, because otherwise I'd have expected him to pit for soft tyres by now.
Yeah, that's someone getting onto the grass. That's Dow Tapper, and Adrian Faber has to go really far out wide into the chicane. He'll come out ahead of Dow Tapper, but he's forced to yield, and there's contact between the two of them, and that's a Dow Tapper sent spinning. Adrian Faber moves up a place, and that was interesting between the two of them, and I think that's going to be going to the stewards at the end of the race.
I'd expect so as well. I think Tapper will say that Faber rejoined unfairly. Faber will say that he off the road and was entitled to that position. I think really neither of them felt great about the other one in that situation, and yeah, I expect that will be going to the race stewards. I'm on the stewarding panel, so I'm going to have a good look at that. But anyway, we've now got Bickers on the back of Saracino with his rear wing open. Surprised to see that go much further without a move. Bickers been gaining for laps, and Saracino's made it relatively easy for him there because he's not going to get a good exit. He's going to allow Bickers to get the DRS again. And actually, my apologies, he hasn't made it easy at all because he's put himself right back on the inside line, and he's held the place. Good defending from Saracino.
Now
And
keep an eye out.
Slightly.
Now keep an eye out on Dino Paolini because himself and Adrian Faber, they're on the medium tires and they were closing in at a rate of knots on this battle for 6th place. So I fully expect Paolini to find a way past Bickers and Saracino and Faber to do so as well.
Liam de Vries is weaving. Now why is he weaving there? I'm quite surprised. He may be trying to show to say, I'm here, don't turn in on me when I come through. Or he may be trying to warm up the tyres, but he's had plenty of time out of the pit, so I'm surprised. I don't know why he was weaving and not trying to benefit from the DRS and the slipstream there. But anyway, he's now within DRS range of Michael Francesconi. This is for the lead of the race. And, and a DNF for Jaco Lalu.
Oh, we saw some incidents with Jaco Lalu a little bit earlier on in the race. That's going to promote Maltrek up one further position. Maybe Maltrek could pick up a point on his debut race, but Liam de Vries on the back of Michael Francesconi. This is the battle for the lead. De Vries on the 2-stop strategy. Francesconi on the 1-stop. Let's see if Francesconi has anything to say to the Cena Bike Motorsports.
Here we go then. This is for the lead, and I expect it will be relatively easy for de Vries. I know I say that too much, but really, I'm surprised that Francesconi has decided to go for the 1-stop here. I think he knows that. If he had stopped, de Vries would have won the race easily, and he thinks the only way that he can have a chance of winning this race is to hope that de Vries makes a mistake trying to pass him. It's an ambitious strategy, and I don't think it's going to work because de Vries goes up the inside, and there's going to be contact for the lead. The leaders come together, and de Vries the road, he rejoins, and Francesconi's still ahead there. And that could have been so much worse between Francesconi and de Vries. I was expecting them to get locked together, but yeah, that was very, very close. Francesconi did not want to take that lying down. De Vries, I think, thought he got the move. He's up the inside again, and nearly they make contact a second time. And I think Francesconi is definitely hoping that de Vries makes a mistake trying to get through here.
Wonderful, absolutely fantastic defending by Michael Francesconi. He's not going to give this race up without a fight. And he had the inside, and he just squeezes Liam de Vries off the circuit, as he's kind of entitled to do. It is his racing line, and Liam de Vries, if he wants that position, he's going to have to be a bit more forceful. He has a little think about going down the inside into 12, but his best bet is just to wait for that start, finish straight, and have a go again.
Indeed, so he took a look to the outside of the penultimate hairpin there. Now he's just been through DRS detection, DRS again, and surely Francesconi can't hold this one off. Here he goes. He tries to break the toe instantly. De Vries with the DRS, with the slipstream, back to. Oh, he goes to the inside the cross. That cannot end well. He goes. Oh, there's contact. They go sideways, and somehow Francesconi keeps it under control. That was brilliant. Brilliant defense from Francesconi. Very over-optimistic from de Vries. Now he goes around the outside of Francesconi, and he's going to be on the inside for the next corner. And he goes through, and he stays on the road, and he pulls the move. Liam de Vries is through into the lead. He weaves, and he leads.
What a move by Liam de Vries. He tried to bait Francesconi to moving back across, and he tried the old Daniel Ricciardo switcheroo, but Francesconi was wise to it. De Vries on the grass, but he does it into turn 3. What a move by Liam de Vries, and no one can say he doesn't deserve this race, and no one can say that he didn't have to fight for it. De Vries leads on a lap of 50 or 58.
Goodness me, and how Francesconi managed to save it is beyond me. I know I certainly wouldn't have done, but yeah, Francesconi, fantastic, and he's now going to start dropping back from Liam, of course. But you have to say, what a valiant effort from Francesconi to try to hold him off there. Really, really good job. De Vries has gone through there, and we now have just 8 laps remaining in this race before the finish.
Indeed. Now, Colin Spork is further 20 seconds behind Francesconi. I don't think he's close enough to have a shot, as he won't be 2 seconds a lap quicker unless Liam de Vries pulls in some big favors for his teammate. The big battle, though, in my opinion, is this battle for fourth place. Sandeep Singh closing in last time round by 6/10 to Jason Muscat and finds himself just 4 seconds behind the TG Racing driver.
Has it taken me this long to realise that the top four goes Cenobite TG, Cenobite TG? Those two teams definitely the top in this series at the minute. I don't know how it took me that long to realise that, but anyway. De Vries leading from Francesconi, from Spork, and then Muscat. And all of these drivers driving a brilliant race. They don't, well, TG, of course, technically have the strongest car, but really not by much, and it doesn't make too much of a difference, especially at this early point in the season. So yeah, what a drive all of these drivers have been putting on for us so far. Liam de Vries proving himself to be probably the driver of the day once again, as he has been at almost every race this season so far, and he's now leading by 3.6 seconds, showing just how much Francesconi's tyres are going off. But I do think Francesconi may end up gaining from this stop strategy if he can just make his tyres last to the end, because of course if he hadn't done this, he probably wouldn't have even finished second, and judging by the gap, it's going to be tough for Spork to demote him. There's 14 seconds between them and only 7 laps remaining, so Spork needs to gain by 2 seconds per lap.
He's doing it.
Yeah, Francesconi's last lap was a 120.7. Spork's last lap was a 118.7. That is 2 seconds. So this could be closer than I thought. I don't think it will be, because of course it's one thing to catch a driver and another thing to pass them. And of course that gap will not be coming down at a stable rate every lap, at a completely consistent rate. Unless it is, who knows? We may have a battle in our hands. Probably not, but we might.
It may increase, who knows? Only time will tell. The battle for sixth place not done just yet. Saracino leading Vickers, Paolini, and Adrian Faber. This four-way battle for sixth, but Sandeep Singh as well. He's really closing in onto Jason Muscat at a huge rate of knots. He's currently finding himself only 2.5 seconds behind Jason Muscat with 6 laps to go.
6 laps to go indeed. Vickers dipped a wheel in the grass that time around. Team drivers doing that all day and just about getting away with it. It can't be good for your momentum, but doesn't appear to be losing them too much time. And Vickers still ahead of Paolini, planting his car on the apexes. And also, as well as attacking, he's in the difficult situation of defending at the same time from a driver who is also defending at the same time. So a lot of tension building, and this is exactly the kind of fight that I love. Fights where you've got complicated dynamics where drivers are attacking and attacking drivers and defending from defending drivers, and all of those wonderful things. It really builds tension, and that's why I like tracks like Hockenheim, because you've got a lot of track to do that on before you get a chance to overtake, like this long straight. Vickers now, look at Saracino weaving across the track to try to break the toe of Vickers behind. And he stays in 6th position as Vickers gets more DRS.
Yeah, Vickers so close to Saracino. Both of these guys pitted on the exact same lap. Their tires both 34 laps old. TTF versus Mayer Downward Racing. And of course, the second Mayer Downward Racing off of Jack Mayer's down in 14th. He's had a decent recovery drive to pick up some points. But all the big points are on Lewis Vickers. Can he find a way past Saracino to make our way into the tight, twisty, technical infield here at Hungary?
Anyway, so towards the end of another lap, let's take a quick breather. We now have less than 10% of the race to go, and it's still just as chaotic as if it was the first few. We have Liam de Vries leading by just over 6.5 seconds from Michael Francesconi, and the gap continues to increase. They actually have a back marker between them as well. You've got Colin Spork in 3rd position. Now, what's his lap times like? His last few laps in the 118s and 19. Only one lap in the 119s out of the last 5 though, and Francesconi has been consistently in the 190s and 20s, so again, I don't think there's going to be a fight there.
Oh, it's getting really close. Bickers almost runs into the back of Saracino, and he's going to get a really bad exit. This might be the moment that Dino Paolini needs. He's going to have a think about going down the inside into turn 2, and he will pull it. Down the inside he goes, squeezes Bickers out wide, and that's Dino Paolini up into 7th place.
Give him a bit of a whack in the side pod as he went through the grass, though not enough to give Bickers another chance. Jason Muscat is in place, followed by Sandeep Singh, and then this fight, Saracino versus Paolini versus Bickers versus Faber. And then further back, we have Dari Tapper still running in 10th position. That's Martin Rybicek, and a fight between Terence Grech, Hygo Poom, and it's Jack Mayer, James Zuber, Brian Elliott still ahead of Christian Marczarek, Mark Fuller, and Thomas Harvey, who's going off. And those are the 19 drivers still remaining in this race. Top 15, of course, score points at the end of all of it.
Sorry, Adrian Faber just had a massive moment, pushing on the power on the exit of turn 11, and his back end just wanted to leave the circuit entirely. Somehow, Faber keeps it on the circuit, still pushing. Got Lewis Bickers in front as Dino Paolini will be starting to size up Saracino for a move.
That's just how George Sutton crashed earlier on. You need to make sure, as we look at Singh and Muscat, they are fighting for 4th position. So big points at stake here. It's also behind Bickers and Faber, almost went side by side into that corner. But yeah, battles up and down the order. Muscat and Singh over 4th and 5th position. Now these two relatively high up in the championship. Muscat, of course, one of the top drivers in every GPVWC series he enters, and they are going hammer and tongs.
They are indeed, and I just want to mention Colin Spork, the way things stand, I think he's going to be 3rd in the championship after this round. He's going to gain a whopping amount of points over Dino Paolini. I think he gets 11 more points than Paolini. It's going to be very close nonetheless.
So just 3 laps to go, including this one. The timer continuing to tick down. Of course, this race doesn't go to a timer; it goes to a lap count. That's what I meant. More like we have 58 laps. We're on lap 56, and Deval looks at this rate as if he's going to win in the double digits by over 10 seconds. And really,
Dino Paolini, he's sizing up Saracino, goes for the inside. Saracino's not even going to go defensive, and it's going to be Dino Paolini up the inside. They come very close to touching on the entry into turn 1, but it's Paolini who moves up into 6th place.
Paolini through to 6th, Saracino through down to 7th, and Paolini will be very happy with that. He's had some dodgy races the last few. He retired from race 2, but gaining points here with every move he makes, every step he takes. I'll be gaining points. Anyway,
I get the reference. I appreciate the reference as well.
Muscat and Singh still so close. I know I'm saying that an awful lot, but Singh on those harder tires, he will be so happy if he can make this move. He, of course, started well down the order in 13th position, sorry, and this has been a great drive from him, up 8 positions. It's also been a wonderful drive from Terence Grech. Yes, he lost a place not too long ago, and he's now defending from Poom on tyres that look a little bit worse for wear, but still, considering he started in 30th, this is not bad at all, even though we only have 19 drivers remaining. But Sandeep Singh here looks as if he may be about to pull off a memorable spoiling of TG's double top 4 showing.
Yeah, TG though, regardless, they will be jumping ahead of RSR in the championships. They were only 1 point behind coming into Hungary, and as things stand, they will jump by a considerable margin as well. Lewis Bickers still on the back of Saracino, got Adrian Faber behind. Dino Paolini has a long gone since he found the way past Saracino, and it's all about, can you find a way past here at Hungary?
It's difficult. The main place, of course, that long straight. That has been the main, if not only, overtaking point that we've seen today. But it is enough to provide us with this thrilling race. Of course, it's all about sticking with the driver in front as you go through the corners. and then launching an attack when you come out of the final corner. It's difficult to do because the final corner is a long one. The aerodynamics of the car in front is trying to unsettle you. That's what you think of when you hear people refer to turbulent air as a racing driver. But anyway, we are now on to the final lap of the race and approaching the final sector as well. Liam de Vries, 11 seconds front. He has driven absolutely unstoppably today.
He has indeed, and it looks like he's going to be picking up his 4th win in a row. Jason Muscat, I think he's done enough to defend Sandeep Singh. Luzbek is still having a think about Saracino, but Liam de Vries, there's absolutely nothing to stop him now as he passes one final back marker, one corner left, Caitlin.
One corner to go now for Liam de Vries. He exits the corner and he is going to win by 12 seconds here. There he goes. Liam de Vries has led pretty much all 58 laps, of course, not effectively or not realistically, but effectively, he has always been in charge. Michael Francesconi, he had to pass for the win, and Francesconi comes across the line 12.180 seconds back. That's the winning margin in the end, and he put up a wonderful as well. Colin Sport claims his first GPVWC podium in 3rd position. What a drive from the 15-year-old. Colin Sport there showing that he is a definite future talent, probable future Super League driver. And yeah, what an absolutely wonderful drive from him that was. Jason Muscat P4. Sandeep Singh couldn't quite spoil his party. Probably made a mistake on that last lap because he dropped back a little way. Dino Paolini is going to be 6th position. Good drive from him as well in the Cientech car. And he's going to finish ahead of the 3-way fight between Saracino, Bickers, and Faber, who are going to finish in that order, Yousuf.
Yeah, Dow Tapper will pick up P10 behind, and Sandeep Singh, there was that one mistake he made that cost him about a second. I can't remember exactly when, but he lost a big heap of time, and if it wasn't for that, maybe he could have found a way. He could have found a way through Jason Muscat. That being said, Muscat had enough in the tank. Martin Rybachuk picks up P11 after running pretty high up the order. Terence Greg, who I know you have been very, very pleased with it tonight, Caitlin. He picks up P12 ahead of Hygo Poom. Jack Mayer, pardon me, and James Zuber will take the final point. He's making his way into the final sector now.
Well, James Hughes already finished because he was the first driver down, also a lap down, so finishing, and Mark Fuller and Thomas Harvey, who finishes his debut, and actually, oh sorry, not his GPWC debut, but his Super League Lights debut. And Christian Malczarek did actually finish his GPWC Super League debut, albeit not in the points, but definitely the only way up for both of those drivers, and a good start to finish the race. Retirements included Jukka-Pekka Lalu, David Krupa, George Sutton, Pascal Schmidt, Matthew Klipp, Pedro Mora, Kaz Reitfeld, Roy Schroten, who of course went barrel rolling on the opening lap, Stefan McCready, Matthias Ranzani, and then Sebastian Kozmala. So that is the full order today, and we now wait for interviews.
Yep. So I guess this might be our first time to interview Colin Spork. Again, jumping up into those top 3 spots in the championship, if my maths is not mistaken. And wow, it just shows, it's so close. You get one good result here in the Super League Light, and it could completely change your championship fortune around.
Absolutely. So we wait for those drivers. No, never finished on. So I don't know that he knows, but anyway, fantastic drive from the young driver. I'm going to call him my honorary driver of the day. Of course, we have to say it, Liam de Vries. He was the driver of the day again. Won 4 out of 4 of the first races, and of course in the same car as Colin beat him fairly. But Colin Spork, you've got to say, 15 years old, we keep going on about that, and I don't want to keep going on about that because it's not just that he's good for his age. He is good, full stop. This is a proper racing talent, and yeah, hopefully we can get to interview him. Indeed, we do. So let's start with him and work our way up to the winner. Colin Spork joining us for the first time. Colin, your first GPWC podium.
Yeah, so happy, Jesus.
I'm sure you are. Talk us through how you did it.
Yeah, it was quite a good quali. Was very happy about it. Not optimal. Gets held up quite a bit in the first sector, but nothing major. And then P6, just good start into P5. because there was a little bit of chaos in turn 2 at the exit. Follini get fourth right, but keep it, yeah, really good. So was very happy and just keep the tires, keep the tires work for the rest of the race, and it worked. So Manu, very very big thanks to him because it was a very good strategy call from him to come out 2 times on the medium tires, and yeah, we timed it perfectly. So
And it worked out so well for you. Also, this is the first time that we've been able to interview you in
yeah.
one of these races. So I want to know what preparation have you done for this series, for this race? How have you got ready for your first series of Superleague Lights, and how are you this fast?
Yeah, yeah. I don't know how that was, but just a lot of practice with Liam, of course, a very, very good driver, and just practice as much as I can, practice as well as I can, get as much data as we can, and it works. So I'm very happy.
Thank you very
And
much for the interview,
Yeah, thank you.
Yousuf.
yeah, Colin, a lot of people have been impressed with how quickly you've been driving, but one of the things that's impressed me the most has been the improvement that you've made since Australia. And I kind of want to know, and maybe any tips you have to any aspiring R Factor 2 drivers out there. What has it been? What has kind of clicked with you to be able to find those, those few extra tenths every lap?
Yeah, just work hard and try as much as you can to improve your setup on your own, because you can get a good setup from someone, but always try some things and make something work for yourself, because that's what's really important for the whole sim racing, but especially this league.
Okay, thank you very much for that.
Yeah.
So that was Colin Spork. We don't have Matthew Francesconi yet. Matthew? What's his name? It's escaped my head.
Michael.
Michael Francesconi. My apologies. But instead, we are going to bring in our race winner, who is standing by with Yousuf.
Oh, Liam Duval, how many times do you have to come in here and join us for these interviews, dude?
Hopefully 12 more times would be nice.
Oh, fantastic to hear. First thing I want to ask, the differing strategy. We saw Francesco and he opted for the softs onto the hards. Were softs to mediums and then a back to softs always the plan for you?
No, well, if it went like today, then yes, because if I was going to be first and had clean air, then I would have always done a two-stop with mediums in the second stint. But if I was stuck in traffic or something, then I would have probably done a one-stop. But I think everything planned out as I had it in my head, and then yeah, I just wanted to do the two-stop, or because I calculated that it was like 10 seconds faster than the one-stop. But obviously, if you have traffic, then that's going to cost you time. So well, didn't have that and worked out beautifully.
Now, what I do want to ask is, you closed into Francesco and you were closing him by a huge rate of knots. 1.5 seconds a lap. I'm guessing you knew it as a matter of when, not if. I want to know your kind of thoughts on Francesconi's defending, because it was aggressive. Do you think it was over the top, or was it perfectly fair from him?
I think the first time was over the top because he just blatantly forced me off the track there. The other times were fine, but after he pushed me off, I was also in the mindset of, I could easily pass you with DRS on the straight. But if you're going to defend like that, let's make it a nice battle then. And then I tried to do it in some unconventional spots. But I think only his first time where he pushed me off the track was unfair. But, I don't know why he defended that hard, because there was never a battle he was going to win. 1.5 seconds difference between his tires and mine. So yeah, that's my take on it.
Well, turn 3 was definitely an unconventional spot to make your move for the lead. Caitlin, anything that you'd like to add?
I was also about to say it. So you've now won 4 out of 4 races. You say it's going to keep rolling over, and I don't doubt you. So you are also a Super League podium finisher. I was wondering, what are you doing in Super League Lights, and are you aiming at a Super League? Yeah.
That's a good question. I should have driven in a Super League this year for a Hawkeye, but there was a bit of problems in the team, which unfortunately meant that they had to disband. Is that the word? Didn't drive this year. And then I always had the backup of my own team in Superleague Lights, and everyone always thinks I'm like a Melbourne specialist, and I always do well in Melbourne. But I also want to prove to myself that under my own leadership in my own team, that I can do very, very well and be consistent all year and do very well in the championship. And that's what my aim is for this year. And then I want to move up again to Super League for the next year, and hopefully in a team that can offer me more than has been in the past.
Anyway, thank you very much for talking to us. You did a wonderful job.
Thank you, guys.
So we now can bring in our second place finisher, who is Michael Sconi.
Hello everyone.
Jolly good. So, Michael, you finished second place today. Fought hard, but in the end, second was where you finished. How do you feel about it, and how did you do it?
Very very difficult race. Liam pushing hard from the beginning. He's amazing, pushing very hard on first stint. And the second stint, at the beginning, I don't understand. He was on soft, on medium. Sorry. After some laps, I understand it, and I understand he was on two speed, and it was very hard to try to take him behind me. I try everything. I hope currently. I don't know what happened on the contact. I need to see the replay again, but it was very hard to take him behind. It's a good result, but very difficult at the moment. Liam continued to win. I lost point. Not easy.
So we asked this as well to Liam. Talk us through your fight with him and the times where you came together.
Sorry, what? I don't understand.
You collided with Liam a couple of times. How did that look from your point of view? Do you put blame on Liam, or was it just racing?
You speak about the incident. I don't understand. Sorry.
Yeah,
The one through
you
turn
collided.
one.
Yeah, you collided.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know. I want to see the replay because I think I was. I don't turn my wheel. I was on the brake, normal brake, and I was very hard to accelerate outside the corner, and he passed me because he have the soft. He was super fast than me, but I don't know. The second time he touched me and passed me. Uh, Istanbul, it's the same. Touch me and pass me. He love it. He love me.
Little love kiss is sponsored there.
Yeah,
Anyway,
yeah.
Yousuf, do you have anything else to ask?
I guess it's just on the strategy itself. When we were speaking to Liam, he mentioned that if he was in clear air, he was always going to go for the two stop. Did you ever consider going for the two stop, or was the
No.
one stop always okay?
No. Only one stop for me because it's very hard to overtake. But me and Liam, we go away from the group. We had a big advantage, and he can do to pit with no problem. I don't think this. For me, one pit was normal. He surprised me with two pit.
Fair enough. Anyway, thank you for talking to us, mate. Good
Thank
luck in
you,
the future
guys.
round.
Thank you. Bye bye.
So that was our second place finisher, Michael Sanchez. Afraid end of the podcast, but you will have to join us tomorrow if you want Super League action. We do have the main Super League event, and that is not going to be one to be missed. It's always a good one here at the Hungarian, always unpredictable, and I will certainly be tuning in if I can. But anyway, also make sure you tune us in 2 weeks' time for the next round of Super League Lights. The next round is, I really should have checked this before the race started, it is actually Azerbaijan Grand Prix from Baku. So that's going to be a very exciting one, always is, possibly even more chaotic than today. Hopefully not, but I fear that it may be. Anyway, Yousuf, any last thoughts?
No, not much to add. What a fantastic race it has been. I can't wait for round 5. Let's see if Liam Duval can make it 5 from 5. Who knows? Let's see if he can just win every race this season and set just a new GPVWC total point tally record.
That would be quite something. Anyway, that is the end of the. Thank you to Yousuf for joining us. You did a great job alongside me, and also to Gerrit de Vries, who streamed and provided the cameras that you're seeing. I forgot to credit him last week, so credit for that as well. Gerrit always does a wonderful job in that position, and we couldn't do it without him. He even dealt with the technical issues earlier, so thank you for that, Gerrit. Thank you, Yousuf, and thank you all for watching us today. Anyway, that's the lot. Good night.